chat-based service called SMMEstart has been launched on WhatsApp to provide SMMEs in South Africa with instantly actionable information, guidance, and resources to help business owners restart and grow their businesses during the COVID-19 economic recovery period and beyond. The SMMEstart service on WhatsApp has been developed by Preklit in partnership with the Rifu and Jozi Hub with funding support from google.org. And today we are joined on the social issue by Sam Manclark, from Jozi Hub to speak a little bit more about this much needed service. Thank you so much for your time, Sam, and good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me on the show, Vire.
Thank you. Now, the State of the Nation address, I think, cemented the importance of SMME support and development in SA's economic recovery process. And SMMEstart seems to really be ticking that box. Now, tell us a little bit about this service and perhaps how it intends to support SMMEs in South Africa.
Sure. So I'll take a step back just to give some context to why we decided to go the WhatsApp route.
Yeah.
You'll remember during COVID in kind of March, April last year, people were really needing information about COVID-19, weren't sure where to look for credible information that they could really trust. And the National Department of Health launched the Contact NDOH, which was a WhatsApp service that then provided all of the WHO and National Department of Health health information relating to COVID. And you could get it in the palm of your hand. You could do a health check, a symptoms check. It was really, really useful 24 hours a day, on WhatsApp. And so building on the success of that, knowing the ubiquitous nature of WhatsApp and how widely it is used across the country, in fact, across the world, we decided that it would be a great way to be able to provide resources and information that's recovery-based for small businesses. And so started on this journey of developing this platform on WhatsApp.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of content and resources on the service is sort of research-based, and it was conducted during the COVID era. Now, what are the fundamental things you've learned, and perhaps your entire partnership has learned about the needs of SMMEs, specifically during a crisis, I guess?
So we did, you're exactly right. We did research last year. We spoke to 100 small and micro business owners who had survived through the lockdown, survived thus far in the pandemic with their businesses, and asked them, what is it that you really need right now? Like, what is the resource and information that you need? Because we know that you go online, there's a plethora of information out there. It's so scattered across the internet. And that's one of the things that came out of the research, was that it became really overwhelming to be searching and finding so much information and business owners not knowing where to start. And through that research, we also understood that many small business owners felt left behind in terms of the skills that they had, marketing their businesses via social media or via, Google, didn't know how to put their businesses maybe into an online or digital space. When replying for funding relief from either government or private sector organizations, realized their businesses weren't 100% compliant. And so how could they then get their businesses to compliancy stage? So COVID really illuminated certain needs within the SMME sector with these business owners, that they could learn a skill themselves and then do their own marketing, or that they could work towards getting their business compliant and then apply for relief funds. And obviously in that research, one of the key factors that came through was the need for funding and for cash flow and things like that. And many had applied for the various cash flow and relief offerings out there, some with success, some with no success. and for various reasons. And so we try to tackle that as well. So best practice in terms of applying for those funds. How do you make sure your business is compliant to apply for those funds? And also, which are the ones that are still valid and you can still apply for?
Yeah.
And that's why on our platform, we're updating it all the time. So whenever there's a new fund available, it's updated on the platform. When one expires and the date for application has passed, we take it down. So everything that is on the WhatsApp line right now is what you can apply for in terms of funding and grant opportunities.
So it's always relevant, which is interesting. The online movement, obviously for the business revolution, created a lot of stumbling blocks as well, especially for the SMMEs who didn't have the capacity to move in that space quick enough because of the pandemic. And I know you've spoken a lot about the relief funding, but what other sort of resources are offered through this service that sort of speak to those blocks?
So we've tried to make it really, really accessible information. When it comes to business, especially the finance and accounting sections, we've tried to just remove a lot of the jargon, give information about why it's actually important to keep your accounts up to date, easy ways to do it. So within the financial menu item on the chatbot, you'll find accounting basics, so how you can kind of control your own accounts, plus obviously all of the financial offerings. But then also, how do you find customers? How do you market your business if you're doing it yourself? Easy little tutorials that will teach you step-by-step guides in terms of marketing, legal advice, tax relief offerings, tax advice, free resources. There's some nice books you can download and read that's really, really useful and full of very helpful tips and information. So we've tried to keep it as relevant as possible, and those are really the key areas that we have focused on, which seemed to be the greatest need from SMME owners.
Yeah, and it seems pretty easy and simple enough because, WhatsApp is a movement on its own. But how do SMMEs get access at the moment to the specific sort of resource or service?
Sure. So it is free. So the normal WhatsApp data charges apply as if you were WhatsApping a friend or any other business. So the resources are free, and all anybody needs to do at any time of the day or night is message the word hi in WhatsApp to 0600 110 110. So really easy to remember, 0600 110 110. And there'll be a response by the chatbot with the menu of items with basic steps on how to move forward. So it's really, really simple to use, and literally just message the word hi to that number and you can start interacting with the chatbot.
That's lovely. And just to finish up, how has response been? I'm sure you launched like a month ago. I just want to know how some SMEs have been finding the service and what results can you sort of give so far?
So we've had quite a few thousand SMMEs on the service already, which is great. There's also a mechanism where you can register on the service, so you can register your business. And when you do that, we then can start to interact with you and ask you some questions in terms of what else you need. We've had hundreds of signups to the registration as well. So we're just trying to create awareness as much as we can out there. To grow those numbers and share the service. And hopefully it is a really helpful tool for SMME. So we hope everyone watching this today jumps on and has a look at what might be helpful for them in their business.
100%. Thank you so much, Sam Manclark from Jersey Hub, speaking to us a little bit about SMMEstart, a WhatsApp service for SMMEs all over the land, really. If you want to know more about the app, you can find out more information on Social TV. But yeah, thank you so much for your time, Sam.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Viwe. Appreciate it.
Thank you. For more stories like these, go to www.social-tv.co.za, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on our social mediums.